Domestic Philadelphia Stories. He's been widely published and has won awards, including a Truman Capote Literary Trust Fellowship, and he teaches creative writing at Richard Stockton College in New Jersey and lives in right around the corner around here, Germantown, PA.
Well, I thought, since we have 5 minutes, I thought I'd try to read 3.5 stories. I'm going to read 3 59-word stories, and then I'll read a section from the story in the Philadelphia Stories. So this is called Chicken, and this is actually a true story. An elderly Chinese woman boarded the bus, a live chicken head poking out of her shopping bag. "No live animals," the driver said. She showed her transfer. "No animals," he said, blocking her way. A passenger translated. The woman stared at him. Then she lowered her bag, snapped the chicken's neck, and took a seat. Fireflies. At 19, he loved Michael, who had made them 2 flashlights that blinked with a specific pattern, like fireflies. "So we can find each other," he said. They'd since broken up, years passed. He became a teacher, Michael a pilot. Still, on nights when planes flew overhead, he turned the flashlight on and pointed it at the sky. And the last short story is Showered with Love. That morning, she had washed their clothes, paid the bills, cooked breakfast, and cleared the table. He'd done nothing but wrapped his arms around her as she finished the dishes. "I love your hair," he whispered. "You do?" "Immeasurably." "Really?" she said, beaming. "So you'll pull each strand of it out of the bathroom drain?" And then the section I'm going to read, this is from the perspective of a woman who's married a man and they raised a kid, but the man is kind of a drunk, so she left him, and they're in the process of divorcing, and he said, you've got to meet me because I have news about our son, who was supposed to be in college in Santa Cruz, and he has this postcard. So they're at the diner, and he's already drinking, and this is the first time she's seen him, and so she gets the postcard finally. On the picture side was a drawing of a huge white tent with dozens of brightly dressed people and animals peeping out from the center flap. "Arco's Circus of Wonders," I said, reading the banner over the tent. "What in the world is this?" "Read the back, Frank said, taking another swallow of beer. I flipped the card over and read David, that's the son's, scrawled a jagged scrawl. It said he had dropped out of USCS SC last semester, learned how to swallow fire, and had joined an experimental circus. "Is this real?" I asked Frank. "It seems to be," he said. "David was never one to play practical jokes." Yes, I thought. I had noticed this too, though Frank and I had never talked about it. I wondered what else we might have come to understand on our own. "Okay," I said slowly, "so our sons dropped out of school and joined a circus." I couldn't help but laugh. It seemed too preposterous to be true. Frank also laughed. "You have to admit," he said, "it's not every day that real-life things happen to us." Soon we were both laughing hard. It felt like when we had first met, but I wasn't sure I wanted that now. I raised my glass to my face and took a sip of tea. The 3 pieces of ice that had been there were already melted away. "Do you see why I wanted to show you?" Frank said. "You probably thought I was making something up." "No," I lied. "I just wasn't sure why we had to meet." "Oh, I see," he said, and raised his mug, though it was already empty. I twirled the postcard slowly in my hands, as if it might reveal something more. Was this the last I would hear from my son, or would there be another postcard a year from now, telling me he was on a fishing boat in Alaska or had married a woman in Baja? In some way, nothing would surprise me anymore. David had been away for 3 years and had rarely come home. Really, he had left us long ago. He hadn't even called after I had left the message in his dorm about our separation. Though I had worked for it for over 20 years, I suddenly had no family, or if I did, it was right here in front of me, this man and his beer. Working at a bank had taught me one thing. Most people, nearly all, do not drink throughout the day. They come in and do their business sober. I had gotten saddled with the exception. And though I found the strength to leave Frank, finally, I knew he would never leave me. not my body or my memory. And what else of there was there? What else of me was there? After 5 months apart, here he was, across the empty Formica table from me. And wasn't the present the most weighty evidence the world ever offered?